Tonight, I'm being joined by a former governor of Edo State, a chieftain of the APC, a former national chairman of the APC, a deputy director general of the APC campaign organization, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Sure, thank you for having me.
Is your party ready for the campaign?
Absolutely.
Why is it that you've postponed again the inauguration of your campaign council?
Have we postponed before?
I mean, yeah, you did.
When?
There was a statement last week that you are supposed to inaugurate today or tomorrow, but that again, we've understood that it's been shifted.
When you say again, it suggests that there was a previous postponement.
A second time.
Now, what was the first one?
The first one was last week, was announced to be inaugurated today. But now we've understood that it's going to be shifted again.
Not true.
Indefinitely. That's what we understand.
No, fake news.
So give us the news, the fact of the matter.
As far as I know, the campaign council has not been inaugurated. First, because the chairman of the campaign council, it is no secret, he was away in New York to address the United Nations General Assembly. The Director General of the campaign was also in New York for the same purpose. And there's no way you want to go and inaugurate a campaign council in the absence of the president, who is also the chairman of the campaign council. Nor do you expect the campaign council to be inaugurated when the Director General, who has the operational wing of the campaign, is also out of the country. And these are not facts that were not known to anyone. If somebody had published that, it must be an error.
All right, interesting. So do you have an idea of when the inauguration will happen?
Well, I'm aware that the president is back now, who is the chairman of the campaign council. I'm also aware that the DG of the campaign is not yet back. He said he will be back by weekend. And so I will expect that upon his return, there will be consultations looking at the president's credit timetable, a schedule, and that of the DG. And once we have a clear date, that will be done.
Is your candidate around too? The
well,
presidential candidate?
I don't report to him every day. I'm not sure if he's around or not.
I'm just imagining that since you know
but that is not
the president
issue.
was not around, the
no,
DG is not around,
no, I know
you probably
the
will know that
I know
because you're now going to be working closely with the candidates because you are the DG deputy DG.
When the campaign council is inaugurated and my office is activated, that is yet to be done. Now, what I've told you is not a secret show that the president traveled along with several other heads of state and government to New York to attend the UN General Assembly, and that he traveled with a number of governors and a number of ministers and a number of MDAs. So it's not a secret that I have revealed to you.
We just wanted to get the first-hand information about your candidate, whether or not he's in the country. But since you said you probably don't know,
I don't see him every day.
Okay, so you don't know if he's in the country?
No.
Okay. To another very crucial matter is the fact that your party is a ruling party, and in any competition, you say, oh, is the party to beat because you are holding on to power right now. I'm very sure that you want to retain it.
Of course.
But the question is, do you have what it takes to retain it this time around?
Yes.
As a party?
If we think we didn't have what it takes, we will not be feeding a candidate.
You have a candidate that can win the election?
Of course.
What gives you that confidence?
We have a tested hand.
What gives you that confidence?
On account of who he represents.
And what is that?
That is a performer. It's not a new face. You know, there are two kinds of candidates. There are candidates who can pontificate about how they will put air conditioning all over Nigeria and they will make every Nigeria a billionaire. That is sweet talk. But we have to look at, incidentally, in this year's edition of the campaign, of the electionary campaign, that will take place hopefully by February next year. The main, what I would describe, or what most people describe as the main candidates, they've all had the office of governor. For example, my own candidate, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was the governor of Lagos State for 8 years. The Labour Party candidate was a governor for 8 years in Anambra State. And Alhaji Atiku Abubakar was vice president for 8 years. And there are other candidates as well, but at least let me limit myself to these three. So they are not strangers to power. They are not strangers to electioneering. And people can look at what they did when they were in office before to be able to speak to what they might do tomorrow. But as they say, talk is cheap. It's walking the talk that makes the difference.
I mean, so you imagine.
So if you are going to look at,
how do you think your candidate stands? I mean, amongst the people that you have mentioned.
I think it will come first.
Really?
Yeah.
But the polls are saying otherwise.
Which polls?
There are about 3 of them. There is one that came out, just a moment, Your Excellency. There is a Bloomberg poll that says that if the elections were conducted, Peter Obi is in the lead as we speak. There was the ANAP NOI poll, which gave Peter Obi and the Labour Party in the lead. There is also the We Together movement poll that was also conducted, released yesterday, which also gave the Labour Party a lead. There was another poll which says the election, if conducted, that's the 4th one that I'm mentioning tonight, that says, look, there might be, the election might not be concluded on the first ballot. So in any of these polls, your candidate has not featured as the lead.
It's okay. It depends on what weight you want to place on any of the polls. But you know, in this environment, all sorts of things happen. You conveniently ignore the findings of, is it Economic Intelligence Unit? That says from their own evaluation and everything, they believe as well you will win. You didn't seem so.
No, I didn't get that.
No, you won't get that because it's not convenient. It's not convenient.
That may not be true.
Those of us who are looking at the whole picture, we know that that was not the secret.
Maybe it's available to you.
It's not published in an unknown mushroom paper. Now,
everything that I've said tonight have also been made public.
Yeah.
But the one
that's what I'm making, that it was not convenient to make this one public.
But maybe because it favors your party, that's why you have it. Some of us don't have it.
Okay, maybe because this other one favors your preferred party, that is why you have it.
You're not correct. You're not correct, sir.
You are not correct to say that what I saw, that you could see it. Your business is fishing around looking for news, even the hidden one. And mine, reading newspaper is just one thing I do. That's all you do.
I won't claim omniscient to say that I have all the knowledge, but I'm saying that those are the ones
I'm happy that I'm able to add to your basket.
And I would love to see the details of that report.
I will show you.
Yeah, thank you. So, does it give you any kind of fear that this is a signal that this race might not be business as usual?
I have no weight whatsoever on the so-called opinion poll, particularly when you look at who sponsors what. I mean, you can afford, and it's probably convenient for some people to say there was one opinion poll which was sponsored by somebody you know is an open supporter of Peter Obi, and is entitled to resort to any tactics which he thinks might sway public opinion. And the publisher of those polls, the sponsor of the poll, which was mentioned, is not like an independent medium. There will be a lot of fake opinion polls, but they are not more than opinion polls. Even if they were published by fairly well-known, credible people who are seasoned, or organizations that are known to be seasoned in business of opinion polling. So, but let me tell you why. I mean, there are common sense bases to even dismiss these polls. The first is, just 4 years ago, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar and my very dear friend Peter Obi, former governor of Anambra, they had a combined ticket. I'm sure you know that. And that combined force challenged the APC, challenged Buhari, and unlike in 2015, Buhari scored more votes against the combined ticket of Atiku and Peter Obi. And my simple reasoning is, divided, united, they failed. How can they possibly win divided? And their constituency is the same. If you check Atiku's votes, Elijah Abubakar Atiku, you will find that he got more votes in the South-South and the Southeast than he got in the entire North. Check the record. So he was more favored in the South than in the North. Today, those votes in the South may, at best, and if you check APC voting pattern, in 2015, we lost the Southeast and the South-South. Indeed, it's only in my senatorial zone that we delivered one senator in 2015. In 2019, Buhari again lost in the Southeast and in the South-South. The highest vote was from Edo State. Even at that, we got, I think, about 46% or 48%. So, if the voting pattern remains the same, namely that they will not vote for APC, which I don't think is going to be the case, because now we do have more people who have electoral, who can be described as having electoral asset that are now in APC, who were not there in 2019 and in 2015, who are now in APC. So I believe that everything considered, Peter Obi, His Excellency, maybe, I mean, the weaknesses is the fact that I don't think you have looked at the polls you talked about, whether they went to break it down as they do elsewhere and say in this part of the country, the blue state, the red state, the green state, so that we can have idea where are the voters coming from, because it is the sum total of those that leads to a particular outcome. So I'm confident that in terms of a unified figure, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu is ahead of the two of them.
I've known you for...
They will get what they couldn't get together. They can't get it as individuals.
I've known you for several years now.
Yeah.
And I know something about you. Whatever you are confident and passionate about, everybody will see it. Tonight, you're a bit calm. Is that the confidence that you're going to win the election, or the fact that the humility of the fact that the race is not going to be game as usual? But you describe all of this, comrade, and you paint a picture that your party might have a win. But if you look at it, you will understand that the climes have changed from 2015 to 2019 and 2023. Things are not the same. Correct. So you look at it, the polls favored your party in 2015 against the run of play. A sitting government defeated. In 2019, against, you had the upper hand. But this time around...
The polls said so.
The polls were saying that in the last two elections. But
I'm not too sure.
President Buhari is
I'm not sure if we have the details. Yeah.
No, President Buhari is not going to be on the ballot this time around.
Absolutely.
What effect would that have on your party?
Well, the truth of the matter is, you said it, President Buhari is not eligible to recontest. And I believe APC will still benefit from his support base, because those who believe in him still believe in him. And the reasons they believe in him are still constant, namely, there's an honest man, a committed Nigeria, one that fought for the unity of this country, a man of few words, but he commands huge integrity. I don't believe that those qualities have gone. I believe people still respect him a lot for those reasons. And therefore, if he directs his followers, those who believe in him, that this is where, and he has done that. In a recent statement issued on his behalf by one of his media aides, he was reported, and I watched it on Channel Television, as saying that let nobody talk of a hidden agenda, that he, President Muhammadu Buhari, belongs to APC. He will campaign and support and invite those who believe in him to support APC, from the presidency to the Senate, to the House of Rep, to governorship and House of Assembly. This is no rumor. So with President Buhari's voice on the side of Asiwaju, that's a huge electoral asset. With all due respect to our elder statesman, Atiku Abubakar, he can't dispute the fact that where Buhari stands electorally, he can't speak. He is retested and he failed. But you refuse to comment on the point I raised, that united between Atiku and Obi, bringing the Southeast and part of the South-South to Atiku's little share in the North, that they were defeated. Now, Obi is running away with his own Eastern support. Atiku is clinging, and they're having challenges as part of the South. And don't think of rivers alone. Even in Delta, they have challenges. You know, these are not things you need to talk about, because for us, the people we speak. And don't forget, Asiwaju's wife is from Delta State. There are people, as much as they want to have their son of the soil as a vice president, they also want to have their daughter as first lady.
But what about the internal issues? The likes of Babachi Lawa, the likes of Yakubu Dagara, that have stood publicly and spoken publicly about their agitation and their differences on the choice of your candidate, of Senator Kashim Shettima, and what they believe is the marginalization of their faith in this race. Don't you think that is going to be a factor in this election?
Well, you know, one of the things I promised myself and my family members, including my wife, we've all agreed that, Adam, this time around, don't go into measuring names. I want to raise issues. I want to discuss issues. Because to be honest, that is what will matter. I think majority of Nigerians are going to be interested on those deliverables that will impact positively on the quality of life. But if you insist, and I wish you don't, that I discussed Dogara and Babacha, I will ask you to go to the record. In 2019, at the eve of the election in 2018, Dogara, who was elected on the platform of his APC, and he became speaker on the platform of APC, decided, along with Senator Bukola Saraki, to decamp back to PDP. And yet, we won, as if Dogara never featured at all. Babacha, check the record. We lost his local government anyway in 2015 and in 2016, even when he was secretary to government. So if we can't even cut back on his local government, he doesn't command or have substantial electoral influence in his local government, even when he was secretary to government. Do you really want to say that you go to miss your sleep because now he has chosen to be the champion of Christian faith? There are other things I could say with regards to how he left the office, but I don't really want to go
Comrade, they say they represent a voice of the Northern Christians.
You said it, or they say.
I mean, that's...
They say. So I can also wake up tomorrow and say, I represent the voice of anybody I choose to.
But does your party and
self-proclaimed...
does your party and your campaign regard the Northern Christians as a minority and perhaps they do not matter in this race?
If we thought so, then Lalong would have been DG. I am a Christian. I am a Christian not because I'm from the South. I am a Christian because I believe in Christianity. So there's no such a not a Christian, Muslim Christians. I think that individuals are able to identify their priorities. And like I've said several times over, we have to advance our democracy. We have to challenge our leaders with issues. One of the escape routes that political leaders have always resorted to, which is very unfortunate, is to buffet up with non-irrelevant issues. They will speak to religion, they will speak to ethnicity, they just evoke primordial sentiment, and then in the process, they escape from accountability. I think that Nigeria of the 21st century, I don't think our young people, and even now the elderly, looking back, believe that religion is the issue. My advice, like it has been said by many, including the Sultan of Sokoto and a number of highly respected Christian leaders, that let's be careful. Hate speech. Let's talk to issues. Let's talk to issues. So when you buy ticket going to Dubai, have you ever met the ruler of Dubai? I don't think you want to meet him either. You might go for the trade fair. He's not the one being exhibited. But if you like, you can buy a book that tells the story of how Dubai was developed. And when you go to London, or you go to Sweden, or you go to America, wherever you choose to go to, you look at what governments after governments have put in place and not, so let us discuss those things that will make a difference.
These are called the political issues of the election.
They are not political issues. Those are religious issues. I'm not a religious leader. I'm a Christian. I'm a believer. But I believe that if there's any person who can say, I am I am an evidence of infinite powers of God for people like me from my background to become what I've become in Nigeria, from leading workers to be leading the ruling party. So my faith in God is unquestionable. However, for the purpose of this discourse, I think we will do well to interrogate all the aspirants, all the candidates on what they will do in those critical areas that will make Nigeria work for the good of all.
I have two final questions for you.
Thank you.
The first being that beyond all of these political fringe issues, which of course are some of the things that have determined the choice of your party and your candidate, are also the fact that anyone who wants to lead this country must also show cause why Nigerians should vote for them. It does look like the conversation in your party is not talking much more about what your party has delivered to Nigerians in the last 7.5 years or more or so. You're focusing on what your candidate can bring to the table. Why is it deliberate to downplay the achievement of the APC in the last 7 years, or you just don't want to talk about it? Or is it part of your plan?
But you are being economical with the truth. With due respect to you, you are easily one of the seasoned political, let me say, a political activist, because I see
I'm a journalist, actually.
You don't know, go beyond journalism. You have the energy.
Because I don't wear the brown jacket, just like you and your colleagues.
Whatever. Whatever election is taking place and there are political issues, you are there. Sometimes, remember there was a time, some of your colleagues in Port Harcourt dodgy bullets and so on and so on. So you've seen it all. You paid your dues, with all due respect to you. I think that my party is going to release, my candidate, the candidate of APC is going to present his manifesto, which will be properly scrutinized by the party, and it will be released. And this election is about tomorrow. It's not about yesterday. There is no election that is about yesterday. And you asked a very important question earlier. That is that, given that Buhari is not on this ticket, now what impact will that have on us? And I said, he has his influence, and we hope to be able to benefit from that influence. Okay. However, if President Buhari was on the ticket, you would put that question, right? Now, this election is about tomorrow. It's about the next 4 years. You think people should rather spend their time, whether you are on APC platform or you are in PDP platform or you are in a Labour platform, to be discussing yesterday rather than telling us every child, every adult can narrate the story of Nigeria from independence to today. But what people want to vote for come February next year is those issues that will make a difference in their quality of life. And I'm sure that everybody understands, Shehu, that.
We're totally out of time. I do not even have 30 seconds, but I would like you, because
I just wanted to say this point, that the spokesman of the party has on several occasions spoken to some of the achievements of this government. Whether you like Buhari or not, you can't dispute the fact that River Niger is going to be a reality before he leaves office. Whether you like him or not, you are not going to dispute the fact that at a point, even senior people were traveling Abuja, Kaduna by rail. We're not going to dispute the fact that some of the abandoned projects, because we're in a country where government after government abandoned projects,
we're totally out of time.
and try to complete the international airport. There are several others. They can speak to them better because I did this with this government. But they have the record. So don't talk as if, assuming we're able to vote on those things, everything considered. I saw a vice president, Atiku, who was lamenting how they spent 60 billion on power, and he failed. So if he spent 60 billion, what is Buhari's annual budget now? What sector they spend $60 billion?
We are totally out of time now. But please do find time so that we can sit and talk more about this.
I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, thanks so much indeed for talking to us. That's our show for today. I'm totally out of time. Apologies. I'm sure Kimale, I'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Bye for now.